Yeah, so I started about 11 years ago. Mainly, I was doing something different in my life. So I started, reading books and with a few resources back then. There was no internet or online tutorials. So I started as a freelancer, and then I was creating my own personal projects because there was no client, I had no portfolio back then. And with these small personal projects that I did, I managed to get some exposure, and then I got some real client projects, and then they helped me a lot. So with a few achievements like I don't know, staff picks or publications and magazines, I managed to get into the industry, into the real market. So I created my first studio, which was named Yell back then, a few years ago. And right now, the studio has been evolved. We changed the name. So we have, along with my partner Thanos, the Yet Pictures right now, and we are moving on. So I believe the motion design industry in Greece, it's still in, let's say, it has done some baby steps to be honest, because there is no education, so that means there are no motion designers coming up, there is no pool of talent. So that means the works that are being played in the television, there are mostly a little bit of 3D with live action, so there is no culture of motion design right now, just because there are no people that can help build the aesthetics of motion design. So yeah, the agencies and the productions, they are aware of the motion design term, but until now, the only thing that they connect in their minds as motion design is just some letters and shapes over live action footage. As a studio, we're trying to establish our own style and make them understand what motion design is capable for. But we believe that at least last 1 year and a half and 2 years, we have done some progress, and hopefully, we're trying to see an evolution in motion design in Greece. So, firstly, I believe that I was a big fan of inspiration. I was just sitting and waiting for the great moment of inspiration. But as the years are passing by, I believe that there is no, let's say, true inspiration moment. Because just by studying, just by watching things, mainly by creating a pattern, you will be able to be productive and attract some stimulations from the environment in order to build your, let's say, inspiration. So I believe that you can create a specific method in order to inspire you and gain some more inspiration as the years are passing by. I mean, of course, you can go through the internet and search through a lot of inspirational websites or works, but I believe that you can be inspired also from things outside the computers. Okay? This is the moment where you can get more, let's say, original inspiration about art and design, and not just spending time all the time in the internet and the websites. So that's something that I'm trying to figure out as the years are passing by. Because one of my first, let's say, the first criteria that I have is I want to work with people that they have the same aesthetics and vision with me. And secondly, I want to work with people that they have, let's say, the same, not temperament, but culture with me, because it's all about being a good guy and not being, let's say, if I can say that word here, an asshole. I want to work with people that they are cool. Okay, I can work with them. It makes me feel happy. It's not, you can work with a talented guy or with a talented team, but if you don't share the same excitement or the same passion, they are good, but they don't feel in your style, they don't feel in your character. So I believe, firstly, I would place the character and how the other is, kind or very cooperative with me, and then second goes the talent. So personality first, and talent goes second for me. Yeah, to be honest, the balance. I mean, there's no balance. Okay, so I have a 11 years daughter, and the time that she sees me is very little during the day. I mean, like 1 hours and 2 hours as I'm getting back in the home. So I'm trying to spend some quality time during the weekends, but I know that it's very difficult. So for me, the key in the balance is to spend, of course, less time because I don't have the luxury to be, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours with my family during the day. But the time that I will spend with them, it can be less, but should be a quality time. So quantity versus quality. You can spend less times during a week, but if there are 2 hours, these are 2 hours that I'm absolutely dedicated to them. So the most difficult thing is to find a really cool and catchy name. So we were searching with Thanos a name that represent us as persons or like artists. But at the end, to be honest, again, is we wanted to find a name that is short, catchy, and the person that would hear would keep that in his mind. It's not something that you can forget, or big names or 2 or 3 words. So we wanted to one word with an iconic logo, and then an iconic figure or mascot that we're applying to create. So it was at the first we tried to move to something that could be, I don't know, like an inspiration or that come just spontaneously, but we find it hard, to be honest, and we end up with something that we believed is short, catchy, and memorable. So about recruiting new talents, we're trying to search for young people or young artists that at least they have in a portfolio a touch of, let's say, their own vision. I mean, of course, there are students, there are beginners, there are new artists, so we don't expect to see something spectacular or awesome. But if we manage to take a look only, I don't know, there can be 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, and if we take a conclusions from that small short time from a reel that is good, we are telling, oh, that guy has to he's telling something even in a short time in his reel. Maybe the reel is 1 minute, but we take advantage only like 10 seconds. Then we believe that he has something to tell. It's only about that. Okay, we don't expect 1 minute reel from a new artist to be awesome. Of course, nowadays we are watching a lot of talents, but we just want from a new artist to see that they can express their own selves. Okay, they keep their own voice in a reel. So if we see some signs like these, we want to take him in the studio first as an intern, and then if everything goes good, we can move on. But to be honest, in Greece it's very difficult because there is no great pool of talents, just because there's no education in motion design. Right now, there's only 3D animation, which is out of date, especially the content that universities are giving. So it's hard, but we're also trying to search for talents outside Greece, and this is what we have done the last years. We have bring people from France and Germany, etc. So country is not like an obstacle for us. We can bring talents from all around the world work with us. So motion design industry today is it's really awesome. We see a lot of studios and artists delivering high quality work, and as the years are passing by the help of technology, we have some amazing results. At the same time, I think it's a little bit stressful because you have to keep updated with all the technology, software, study a lot. It's not only about creative direction and your own vision. The tools nowadays, they are becoming way and way more smarter, so you have to study them a lot. So yeah, it's cool because one guy from his home or his office, he can create something cool equally to a studio work, which is nice. It gives a great freedom to artists, but you should be updated. Okay, so this is it. Study. You should study a lot and keep up with the updates. Okay, art. I think it's. I would name motion design or design as an applied art, of course, because you have to deliver something that has to do with the client. It can be a service or it can be a product. So there are two different faces of the coin. The first one is you can create motion design just for art reasons, but you're not living from that one. Okay, you're doing that as a side job or as a hobby. But the other side of the coin is if you want to make a living from motion design, so you have to create also projects that they are commercials. Okay, so again, it's art at that moment, but I would name that more like an applied art. Okay, it's not like that you're doing art for yourself. You're doing art for a specific client. Okay, so yeah, there are two sides of the coin. It means what do you want to do? If you want to be a professional, of course, you can take advantage of the art side of motion design. But at the same time, you must understand that it's also work. It's a job that has to be done. So you can follow a specific brief. So I think it has two sides. You can combine them, but it's not only about art or just a job.